And we're live. Welcome to Blockchain Universe. My name's Jerome. Today I'm here with my buddy Cagyjan. He is a blockchain gaming YouTuber. Welcome, Cagyjan.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me here and doing an interview. This is kind of like my second one ever, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Glad you could join me. Let me also mention one more thing. Do you have a button to your bottom right that says host tools?
Yes.
Click on that, and there should be a little amplify my voice button. So that way you're coming in loud and clear for those stream.
Okay. How do I go there? Because it
With
doesn't
your
let me.
mouse.
Yeah, but when I try to do that, then I'm moving my character. Oh, okay. Yes. Amplify voice.
There you
There.
go. Perfect. Hear
All
you
right.
loud and
Perfect.
clear. So tell us, Kagian, how'd you get into the blockchain gaming space and why did you choose to be a content creator?
Well, first of all, I started doing content since I was a kid in terms of video games, but I never really did content seriously, took content seriously until like 3 years ago that I started streaming on Twitch. I was pretty successful for a little bit. Not it wasn't big, I gained like 2,000 followers, something like that. Then everything kind of tanked because a bunch of people, the gaming industry kind of exploded. Twitch got overcrowded, and I kept grinding with low viewers. I would be, at my highest, I was like 20 to 40 viewers, but then so many streamers came in and the space got so crowded that it kind of like took a hit. And then after that, I kind of just decided I should do YouTube because I understood that YouTube has an algorithm that is basically better to do YouTube than any other platform to grow. And one of the things about YouTube is that if you provide value instead of just doing something that is just me, 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 me. If you look at Twitch or a lot of live streams, it's all about the streamer. It's never really about the person watching. But in terms of YouTube, the way to grow is more towards you providing value to the person that is watching. And of course, there is content that is entertainment and it's all about the creator. But in my case right now, as of right now, I'm doing content for the viewers. So um, 3 years ago, I also got into blockchain, into the cryptocurrency space, just kind of like not in the boom. It was before the boom, before everybody knew about it. It was by the end of 2016, I got into it. I read an article of the Ethereum Alliance, and I was kind of like, holy crap, this actually makes sense. This makes a lot of sense that banks and all these companies shouldn't have the power that they have, and we could find a better way to decentralize that power and give that power to the community. And then little by little, I just got into the space, and I was kind of exploring with everything that had to do with blockchain. And obviously, gaming was part of my YouTube channel. So I was like, I made a decision to like, let me see if there's any crypto games. So I made a decision to make a shift in my channel, totally, completely different from what I did, which was Call of Duty and shooters. And now I do like whatever related with crypto in terms of gaming, but it has to be the best games in crypto. That's what I look for. I don't look
I
for.
hear you on that. And
Yeah.
that's also the same way I look at it as well. I don't really care for all of the card games, the gambling games. I'm looking for the best, the fun, the most entertaining games that are going to bring in the regular users, the console users, people that are playing on their Xbox and PlayStation. What are the games that are really going to bring them into the space and get them excited about utilizing blockchain and cryptocurrency? So I'm glad that you found this space 3 years ago and got into Ethereum and have been learning and going down that rabbit hole since you got in the space. Glad that you started streaming some of the games. What are, I guess, your favorite blockchain games that you're into now?
Well, in reality, my perspective in terms of blockchain games is from an investor side rather than a gamer, which is weird because I am a hardcore gamer, but I don't think there's any game right now that satisfies my what you call it, my desire to game 10 hours a day. But I will say that the best game in crypto right now, without a doubt, is Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is number one, and I love that game because as an investor, you get to play. You get to have different perspectives. Like you could do different things. Like I'm right now, I'm breeding Axies, so I'm making Axies, I'm making babies, and I'm selling them on the market. So it's fun to do that, but you're not really playing. It's more like a mathematical equation type of thing. Like you gotta see the DNA, and then you gotta see how much it's gonna cost you to breed them, how much can you sell it in the market, and stuff like that. So it's more like you're analyzing the market type of thing.
That's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can be able to gain profits from, like you said, investing in some of these games and the assets and trading it and, making a come up off of this experience. I definitely want to be able to find that game that I can put those 10 hours a day, like you said, into, but also make a little investment on the side while I'm having fun. So those are the games that I'm really looking towards. I think the first one that I'm really looking to play a lot would probably be Light Night. I'm sure you're aware of that. For those in the
Absolutely.
audience that just joined us, welcome to Blockchain Universe. We're talking with Cagyjan. We're talking about blockchain gaming, where you can be able to use blockchain and integration into video games. And I like to relate it a lot to Fortnite, which is a game where people can be able to buy Fortnite's in-game currency called V-Bucks, and then from V-Bucks you can buy assets in the game like a parachute or skins for your characters, stuff like that. And it grabs a lot of people's attention. There's thousands of kids all over the world that are spending their hard-earned dollar on these assets, but they don't own those assets. There's nothing you can really do with them other than use them in Fortnite. And if Epic ever shuts down Fortnite, then all that money that those kids spent is gone. Whereas what we're talking about with blockchain gaming, you own the assets in the game, the skin, the parachute. If you go to another game, you can have, swords, guns, all that stuff in your wallet. And then you plug your wallet into the game in order to play. Think of like Pokemon cards. You can't play Pokemon without having Pokemon cards. So I like to, summarize it for people that are not into the blockchain or the gaming space to understand at least what's going on with the technology, where we're going with it, why we're doing this, and why people like me and you are creating content in regards to this technology. So, what do you think would be the first blockchain game that you'd want to put a lot of time into? And if it doesn't exist, what would it need in order for you to put a lot of time into it, other than an investment standard?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the, for me personally, one of the things that I need for me to be able to play a game 10 hours a day, it has to be a shooter, a triple A shooter. It has to have all the qualities of a triple A shooter like Call of Duty, like Fortnite, and that's hard to achieve. And one of the things about shooters is that it doesn't appeal to everybody in the world in reality. Shooters are, by definition, like competitive games. They're really competitive. They're not adventure games. Like there's a bunch of adventure games that in which people compete, to get the best item, to do this, to do that. But in reality, you could play it super passive. You could literally put 1 hour a day, 10 hours a day, whatever you want. And at the end of the day, you still could have fun. But in Call of Duty, you don't go in to lose. Like you don't go in to get one kill. It's competitive. So that's a niche in itself. So it's hard to bring players that have that competitive nature and always want to win into a game. So the game has to have so many qualities and that community effect for that to happen. And one of the games that I'm looking forward is, like you said, Light Night. I made a few videos on it already. But I'm not sure how much people really want to play another shooter. Because even in the traditional games, classic games, like people are reluctant. I don't know if that's a word um, to change games from like if a new game comes out that is a shooter from a big company, people don't even move. Like people just stay in Call of Duty, Battlefield, and the same. Look at Halo. Halo struggles, and Halo was a powerhouse a few years ago,
Back in the
10 years
day,
ago.
yeah. Nowadays, I hear you. I'm curious what's gonna happen when that new Halo comes out. How many people are gonna drop off of Fortnite and Apex and all these other battle royales to go play the new Halo? That's a really curious point. And another thing I'll point towards is Crucible, which is by Amazon. Amazon's making their own
True.
gaming platform, and they ended up releasing this battle royale, and within no time it got so much bad reviews that they had to put it back in closed beta. And then I just read this morning that they canceled it officially. It's done. They're not dropping Crucible anymore. They just, I guess, I don't know what was wrong with it. I didn't even get the chance to check it out.
Exactly. So that's one of the things, like I said, about shooters, that it has that particular. It's there's something weird about it that I don't even know how to explain, and it's hard to explain because it's just nobody really knows. There's so many good shooter games out there, and they don't grow because it's a niche. Like people want to compete in the best game there is at the moment, the one that has the biggest community, etc., etc. But when it comes to adventure, you can name hundreds of adventure games, and they all have a solid community, most of them, you know. But when it comes to shooters, it's like there's only a handful. So I'm not sure how blockchain is going to solve that. I don't think
I
blockchain
definitely
can
think I
necessarily.
definitely think having the capabilities of being able to either create your own skin and port it into the game, or utilizing the skin not just in one game but across multiple games. Having that asset that you can plug into the game, I think is really formidable in the blockchain gaming space that no other platform really can utilize. So I'm I believe that because of Fortnite, or not Fortnite, because of Light Night, that that will lead towards bigger investments in the blockchain gaming space if that does well enough. We've been seeing more and more growth across the blockchain gaming space from game to game. It's really been a lot of card games that have gotten a lot of growth. Right now, the top blockchain game is Splinterlands, and I know the guys out there, interviewed them a couple of times, and it's really great to see them go from from the bottom, and now they're at the top. But of course, I don't expect them to be at the top forever. As blockchain gaming is growing and evolving, you got an engine creating all of these different games, utilizing the ERC 1155 token, allowing you to be able to, not just have a gun that's on the blockchain, but also being able to register like how many kills I made with that gun on the blockchain. I think that's mind blowing, and that like I can go to Fortnite and go look at how many kills I've gotten. I can go to Call of Duty and see how many kills I've gotten. But if I could just be able to check like Etherscan or something like that and be able to see how many kills I've gotten without needing to open up the game, my friends can be able to see my KD, stuff like that. I think that really is going to have a lot of potential within the space. And when it comes to like trading those assets. If I want to sell it or trade it with someone, it's going to have a lot more value over it than any asset in any of the games that are out there now, because I can't trade it. I can't do anything with my Apex guns or my Call of Duty guns. It's an asset that's not really retainable, whereas blockchain games it gives it a realistic factor almost. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about here. That the NFTs, the non-fungible tokens, which are the assets that we're talking about, are going to bring value. But I don't know. I don't know if that is attractive enough for a game like a shooter to become a great game. You know, it's there has to be a mix. You know, there has to be a mix. With, okay, you got the blockchain thing, but then you got to have a good game. And even then, as we seen, as we talked about other games like Crucible from Amazon, like what is it that makes those shooter games so, you know, so good, but then they fail? Like why is it? So I don't know if blockchain solves that. It gives a better incentive to be part of a blockchain game. That's for sure. That's for sure. That's why I'm doing blockchain, because I believe that is the future no matter what. But then I don't know, in terms of shooters, we have to see. We have to see, because uh, any day, any day, Call of Duty and Rainbow Six and all these games, all they have to do is make a switch, right? They just flip the
Yep.
switch. They flip the
And
switch and they're
thankfully,
back in the game.
thankfully, we have some blockchain developers that are looking to help them make that switch. That switch currently doesn't really exist, and it would mean that the companies would need to go learn how to develop blockchain games in order to incorporate those assets into onto the blockchain. Whereas we've gotten the option to be able to create an API for your assets and embed that into your game so that way it can be connected to the blockchain utilizing a platform called ZBD. So I don't know if you heard of Mint Gox and what those guys are working on.
No, I don't. But I've heard of chain games. They're doing something similar like that. I'm not really sure how it works, but it sounds interesting. Yeah.
They just actually sponsored one of my buddies, Ken Bozak. So definitely looking to work with him and with them on some great quality content here in virtual reality. I'm going to be making a world for him this weekend, and I think it's going to be great what Chain Games is doing with the blockchain gaming and allowing people to connect the API from like Call of Duty to Chain Games, and then by signing into your PlayStation account, if I decide to go play Call of Duty, I can be able to open up like the Chain Games app or something and be able to bet you that I'm gonna beat you in Call of Duty, and we can put up a smart contract wagering our bet, and then if we go into Call of Duty and play one on one or as a team, whatever, so have you, you know, if that person wins, it would be able to register that from the API and release the funds from the contract to the winner.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great feature. It's a start for sure. We need that. We need that. We need those implementations to move forward. Absolutely. And then
I
maybe if
absolutely
it
agree.
gets big enough, then Call of Duty might take a look at it. But I could tell you, like from a AAA perspective, there are companies already looking into it. Like Ubisoft, it's
Mm-hmm.
big. Ubisoft is big on blockchain. They're on the low key, because obviously um, they're so big that they can't make changes, drastic changes like that. They need to. It's almost like they need to go in slowly, but they have a division, blockchain section
Yep.
already. It's a small team, but they're doing it, and it's one of the things that a lot of companies forget how to do that. And I think Amazon is one of the companies that never forgot how to be a startup. And the reason why Amazon has so many things and so many companies and so many little products is because they implement the lean startup, which is the lean startup is basically you start a project, you put the minimum viable product out there, meaning you don't have to put the best product out there. You just got to put a product out there. If the product um, takes traction and it grabs attention, then you go all in. If the product fails, then you pull out and then you try again with another product. But then you're not wasting a lot of money. You're just making a lot of little bets until something hits. And that's what a lot of companies have forgot how to do. But Ubisoft is being smart about it. They said, no, wait, let's do a little blockchain division. Let's help blockchain games develop, and let's see if we can get into the space little by little without spending a lot of money, but without leaving the innovation behind, which is something that that I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. But there's so much going on in this space. It's great to see all of the different actually game that really grabs people's attention. I'm sure when it comes to like AAA games, it's probably going to be one that's backed by Ubisoft. I know that they've dabbled and dabbled with their blockchain games now, making a game called, I believe, Hashcraft. And then after that, they started investing into other companies that are making blockchain games and are tutoring them and helping them. So we might see the day where Splinterlands is no longer at the top real soon once one of those games come out. But I know they're all under NDA at the moment. I'm not aware of any of the games that they
Well,
have that
Axie
are in
Infinity,
development.
Axie Infinity is being backed up by Ubisoft in the acceleration program that they have. And well, the thing is that Axie Infinity is the one for me. That game, I don't know if you dug into Axie Infinity, but that game is incredible. Like so much, how much things you can do. Like the other day, four NFTs just sold for
Yeah, I
$165,000,
saw
you know,
that.
which is
100 and
insane.
I shouldn't have said anything. What was the number that you said? Let me let the
A
audience
hundred
hear. 100 and how
sixty-five
much?
thousand, $165,000.
$165,000 for a digital asset. Yeah, I'm aware of Axie Infinity, and when I did a blockchain gaming conference, I was telling you how I got started before we started the stream. For those that don't know, I film and host the conferences here in the Miami area and events, and I decided to do one in virtual reality. Last August, we had like Engine, Axie Infinity, a bunch of different blockchain games and developers come through, and they were talking about their games. We had a booth for each company in the virtual world, so you can kind of walk around, and it really felt like you're at a conference, but mainly in regards to blockchain gaming. And we got to hear a lot about Axie Infinity when it was in its early days. I really want to check it out. Definitely pushing me to want to jump back into the Axie Infinity, bro.
Oh
But
no no no!
right
It's
now,
the growth is exponential, exponential. It's something that it's you know Ivan on Tech, you know Ivan on
of
Tech
course,
has talked about it twice already in the past week and a half because it's just something, and he talks about he's a little careful now. He doesn't talk about projects and hype them up if they don't if they don't actually have potential, and it was something that he had to talk about because he was like, holy crap, like what's going on here, um, so yeah. And another project is Avagachi, which is decentralized finance with NFT assets, which that is the future right there. That is the
yeah,
future of
that's
blockchain
something
games.
I'd like to touch into before we call it a day. DeFi and NFTs working together, and gamifying. What do you think is the roadmap for where we're going with this merger?
Well, I think it brings best of both worlds in terms of like, okay, there's people that are gonna go into the game just to have assets that do more than just have a return on investment, like in terms of like staking your tokens. It accrues value when you add like cosmetics that are on the blockchain as well. It accrues value if you level up your character, and it just brings best of both worlds. You could be a gamer, a pure gamer, and just kind of play the game, and you could be an investor that is just looking to make money, but then you could actually give that to another person or your kid. Let's say you're a grown ass man, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna put $100,000 into Avigacci. I'm gonna stake $100,000 to get a certain return back, but let me as well give it to my 15-year-old kid so he could play the game and he could actually boost the value of the character, so that if I want to sell it or I want to burn that character, then um, then I could actually have more money. It actually accrues value. And then on top of it, you could take that character and you could stake that character in another contract and get a loan out of that character. Like you
Yeah,
could
I think
use it as
I think that's
collateral.
like similar to leasing assets, but digital assets. So that's really interesting. I think it's a phenomenal concept of creating financial tools when it comes to non-fungible tokens, these assets that you can implement into gaming. If you're talking about art, I've seen people use
Art,
some of
yeah.
their NFT art as collateral, utilizing insurance by Wi-Fi. I think that's pretty
Hmm.
interesting. The space is growing and adapting every day. It's exponential growth. We really see it with the NFT market since September. I don't know if you checked App Radar, but I looked at the NFT growth this month and or last month, and it was through the roof compared to over the years prior. So definitely a lot more room to grow. I can't wait to see as we evolve. I want you to come back with me on the stage and let's chat more about it as games get better and better in the blockchain gaming space. Look around and see my world, see the things that I'm doing here. Feel free to come on down and join us in Alt Space VR. We host events pretty much daily. Mondays, I have Crypto Monday VR. Tuesdays, I do a virtual reality podcast. Wednesdays, I just play some video games. Typically, I'll play like a shooter or maybe I'll play something in virtual reality. Been playing a lot of Firewall Zero Hour with Ken Bozak recently. Thursdays we do a drunk crypto watch stream, so I'll have the video up in here, and my colleagues from Bits and Tokens will do a live stream talking about what's going on in crypto. Fridays I play some video games, and every Saturday we're here for a crypto chat. It's been a pleasure having you join me today, Cagyjan. Thank you so much, buddy.
I
Let
appreciate it so
me
much. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about virtual worlds within the blockchain industry? Because this is already the Altverse. I like this. Alt space is it's pretty interesting, but if you do it on the blockchain, then all your assets that you have here would be on the blockchain. So I don't know if you
Yeah, I
looked
would
into that
love to have a virtual reality
space.
platform that I could be able to host events like this, as well as give out NFTs, have something where like people can be able to purchase NFTs from my museum in here. I have kind of like a open sea directly in the virtual world. There's crypto voxels, and I think what crypto voxels is doing is really cool, especially since it's just a link to the coordinates to your world. Got a bunch of friends that are on crypto voxels and Decentraland, but I don't feel it's the same personal experience like we're having right now. I can't get the same experience in either crypto voxels or Decentraland. There are platforms that are like this that utilize the blockchain, like Space, which just really is 2D version. So if you don't have a VR headset, you can now just join on a PC. But I still think that the limitations are high for like people that have a Mac can't access it. People that have a don't have like a strong enough PC can't access Somnium Space um or even alt space for that matter. So it's really limited. I think that the way we're going in gaming is towards the cloud. With Google Stadia, Amazon created a new streaming platform called Luna recently. So I think that might be like the future of gaming, where I can be able to develop a game directly in the cloud. And as long as you can access a web browser, you can be able to access it. I would love to be able to see us get to the point where we have, 5G accessible headsets with low latency that can be able to connect to the cloud and be able to play games like that directly to the headset without needing to download it. I think that's where we're going over the next 5 years. And I would love to be able to grow my community in here and raise funds from doing events in here and conferences here to be able to develop the platform for that on the cloud in the future. Yeah, there's a lot that's going to happen in this space. I can't wait to cover it all and to connect and reach out, meet with more awesome people like you. I wish I had a lot more time to really dive more deep into a lot more subjects, and definitely going to have you come back on another time. Uh,
For sure.
it's been a pleasure having you. Let the audience know where they can be able to find you.
Absolutely, yeah. My YouTube is Cagyjan, Cagyjan. That's basically where I do my videos, and then on Twitter it's the same thing. And if you go to my YouTube, you'll see all my Twitter accounts and stuff like that. You can just click on it in the description. And I do blockchain gaming tutorial, the best games out there that are not just card games. Because I can't do card games. I just like if it's
I
only
can
card
do the
games I
card
can't.
games, but I see what you mean. It's not like, the same as like a shooting game. It's not the same
It's not.
experience.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Hopefully, we get a banger of a blockchain shooter soon. Soon. I see it hard, but I don't see it impossible. And hopefully, that's around the corner. You know.
I agree, buddy. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for watching, you guys. Check us out next week. I'm going to have the Digibite community here. Every Saturday, we got a crypto chat. Hope to see you at noon next week. Bye.